This is Canada. Most people know it as the home of hockey, lumberjacks, and maple syrup, but this place is way more shocking and bizarre than most people realize. Today we're diving into the wildest Canada facts that will completely change how you see this country forever. At number 1, almost 90% of Canadians live within just 100 miles of the United States border. Yes, a country this massive, and almost everyone lives squeezed near America. At number 2, Canada also shares the longest international border with the US in the entire world, nearly 5,500 miles long, and this border has seen drama, because at number 3, the US actually invaded Canada twice in history, and failed both times. The first invasion attempt happened during the American Revolution, and the second came again during the War of 1812. In both wars, American forces tried to take Canada, but Canadian fighters, British troops, and Indigenous allies pushed them back each time. At number 4, the US still wasn't done. They tried again to force Canada into joining them with something called the McKinley Tariff in 1890. The goal was simple: put such high taxes on Canadian goods that Canada would be forced to give in and join the United States. It was basically an economic attempt to annex Canada without firing a shot, and once again, it failed. At number 5, Canadian soldiers were so feared in war that parts of the Geneva Rules were literally inspired because of how ruthless they were in battle. At number 6, here is something you probably never knew. Canada only became fully independent in 1982. For most of its history, major decisions still had to be approved by the British government. It wasn't until 1982 when Canada finally gained full control of its constitution under Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. At number 7, Canada wasn't always peaceful and united. In the 1960s and 70s, Quebec separatist groups carried out over 200 bombings and attacks because they wanted Quebec to break away and become its own independent country. Canada even had to send the military into the streets to control the situation. It's one of the darkest and most shocking chapters in Canadian history. At number 8, the name Canada was never meant to be the country name. It came from a misunderstanding of the word Kanata, which meant village. At number 9, Canada has the longest coastline on Earth. If you tried walking it non-stop, it would take 33 years. At number 10, near Hudson Bay, Canada actually has less gravity. You literally weigh slightly less there. At number 11, Canada has more than 2 million lakes containing 20% of all the freshwater on Earth. At number 12, Canada has recorded temperatures colder than the planet Mars. In 1947, in a small village called Snag in Yukon, the temperature dropped to an unbelievable minus 63 degrees Celsius. At number 13, Canadians eat over 1 billion donuts a year, more than any country per person. At number 14, Canada makes around 70% of the world's maple syrup. And finally, at number 15, Canada has a beaver dam so big you can literally see it from space. Which nation should we explore in the next episode? Tell me in the comments.